Sophia and the Dreamer. When you think of wisdom, what comes to mind? Wisdom for some is characterized as mere intellectual width, but that is knowledge. Knowledge reflects an accumulation of facts and data that one has learned about or experienced. Knowledge signifies awareness of something that is, usually through conscious study and investigation. Knowledge can be conveyed and transferred through outer displays, but wisdom, now that's something that can't be held. While knowledge can be publicized and easily noticed, wisdom remains intangible and therefore can only be detected through a lens of inspiration. This is why wisdom cannot simply be imparted. Wisdom that a wise one attempts to impart always sounds like foolishness to one who is not of the same kind. You are inwardly whole. Wisdom brings us back to this inner standing. Wisdom feels, thinks, and acts deeply, creating a synthesis which results in a pure artful existence. And this is where knowledge and wisdom part ways. Knowledge doesn't necessarily exist within an artful space, within a creative engine. Knowledge by itself can be dry, inhibited, and cold. But the grace which wisdom bestows always leads to a colorful, artful presence within one's being. This presence is what we could call spirit. In this way, spirit and wisdom are one and the same. As we incorporate our connection to spirit, we unlock wisdom. As we incorporate our connection to wisdom, we unlock spirit. There is no ledge to knowledge. If knowledge is a never-ending library of books, wisdom would be a singular yet ever-transforming painting. Wisdom only has one condition, that it exists within a noble, tender, and open-hearted soul for its dwelling place. In this way, one who is wise doesn't necessarily know more, but rather knows the deeper meaning of what is known. Wisdom is a quality. A large intellect may exist without an open heart, as the cult of academia displays through their many peer-reviewed papers and fragmented conclusions about the world. But without an open heart, all conclusions drawn through the intellect will be fractured and incomplete. Wisdom doesn't need to reason or rationalize. In fact, wisdom erupts from the merging of the rational and irrational. Reason requires a justification, but wisdom just is. So one does not will wisdom into their being. It's the other way around. One recognizes wisdom to be already within, and therefore the true love of oneself translates into a love of wisdom. The self is life and the only reality, since the entire cosmos reside within you, as within so without. Self-love permeates outwardly, thus wisdom is unlocked. I love Shakespeare's quote, "The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool." And the archetype of the fool is incredibly potent in understanding wisdom. The archetype of the fool is one and the same with the medieval figure of the jester. Visualize this. There's a banquet going on. The kings and queens are imbibing in their delicious entrees, and the jester pokes fun at the guests and even the members of royalty. Now, the jester is seen as the fool. So the kings and queens laugh at this fool, but the jester is the one playing tricks. The jester, and thus the fool, recognizes that wisdom does not need to adorn itself with lavish displays in order to prove or reign supreme over another. Sophia in Greek means wisdom. This cosmic consciousness is known in the world by a myriad of names: Isis, Diana, Lilith, but we call her Sophia. Sophia. She is the wisdom of the Creator within you. Her presence bathes us with a magnetic purity, and her radiant light enfolds every living soul. Through her presence and her love which you yourself carry, you find that dwelling space which you longed for in each moment of anguish and confusion. So wisdom is a birthright, the innate condition we find ourselves in, a wise condition when we strip away the limitation that we've consented to, allowing the gift of wisdom to be unleashed naturally without restraint or regulation. Look at the aurora light. This is your externalized heart energy at the center. Notice its lack of form, how it dances. This dance resides within you. In a world full of structure, specified forms, and arrangements, the aurora signifies the mysterious breath of wisdom, which is known just as much as it is felt, only as much as it is felt. And it is harnessed as much as it is set free. We can lighten the burden of enlightenment when we realize that it is already a state that exists right here, right now. You hold the keys to defeat all voices that suggest otherwise. You can defeat the Kali Yuga. You will. We will. Wisdom cannot be commanded. To command is to aim to dominate from a superior height. All you should demand of yourself, or rather all wisdom demands of you, is full acceptance as to where your own breath takes you. Spirit inspires you to move in the direction which you yourself dictate spirit to push you in. Let me say that again. Spirit inspires you to move in the direction which you yourself dictate spirit to push you in. Kinda confusing? Kinda paradoxical? Of course it is. The self is endless. The universal dreamer can never forfeit the ability to dream, because behind each dream lies the very inspiration that creates the dream. The loop of creation goes as follows: inspiration, creation, interaction, then back to inspiration, creation, interaction. The creator in you inspires itself through its creations, offering interaction that produces a sense of newness, leading to more inspiration, and it goes on continuously. In the context of our situation, our interaction with the falsity has been inspiring more and more creative potential for a different environment. And because everything already exists, waiting to be magnified, enhanced, and venerated, the new Earth, or maybe it's the old Earth, is invented through the inspiration first. We hear about the law of attraction. It's called that for a reason. Attraction, not attachment, rules harmonious creation. The Aurora Consurgens is an alchemical text of the 15th century. Translated into English, this means aurora rising. Here we are shown the black sun and white sun, or the sun of gold, battling it out. The conscious and sub and unconscious have had to duel in order to find fusion. Here, Sophia is at the center of the zodiacal wheel, one and the same with time. Her lower half is bare as she awaits the birth of her children. At the beginning of this text, the author relates Sophia's promise to bestow enlightenment, saying if the alchemist comes to her, then his or her operations will not be invalidated. In layman's terms, seek wisdom and ye shall find it. Ask and ye shall receive. The author writes that we pass by Sophia in the streets without a thought every day, covering her in our own mud, our own illusion. But once we can realize the inner vision that allows us to see Sophia within the material, we can unite with her. She reaches out her hand, and we reach out to ours. In this way, this presence is distinct from an external deity to praise. She is more like a twin flame. Wisdom has been the counterpart we've all been searching for. Shine the spotlight within. The wise old man and the great mother are archetypes for wisdom because they suggest wisdom is gained only through experience, through the journey. Wisdom can only be unlocked from the ground up. O son of gold that reflects the black light, O black sun that hides the ray of green light, withdraw your luminous shadow, rend your veils so that I may see your hidden face, veiled by your disk, by the revolving of your swastika, because the one who is hidden there is I myself. This reference to the swastika is very telling. The Big Dipper constellation dances each year, forming a swastika. The center of this swastika, Polaris, the North Star, sits directly above the North Pole, the heart space, the entrance into Hyperborea. Swastikas, which have been in cultures throughout the world, have all along, unknowingly, been paying homage to the fact that below it sits the entrance into the holy grail of eternal life. Keep it up. Keep up the great work.